how over the years of her life she's had many dogs and she's with all of them. I love her very much and I always will, and she will always be the best grandmother there ever was. Thank you, Grandma.
Thank you, Tabea. For those who don't know, Anupa, my sister, that's Anupa's oldest, Tabea. The second girl, Tara, will now come and share her message. And Tabea and Tara, and I think Anupa as well, are wearing mummy's saris today. I volunteered to, but I myself decided not to.
Hi, sorry. I also am saying what I said at the funeral, and sorry, I'm really nervous. There are so many people here. So I wrote this letter. I never thought I'd be reading it out to so many people or to even my grandma, but I wrote it like in the middle of her dementia when like it was setting in and we were just getting used to like her dementia and her changing. So all the small things you were fixated on that at the time I thought were pointless, I miss. When you used to get so worried about changing the washcloths in the bathroom, or when you were so worried about my skin. They made me so irritated, but I miss it. I miss when you would irritate me about staying up late or being on my phone. I miss when you would worry about me eating before we started worrying the same for you. I miss getting irritated with you. I miss not being able to understand why the things that bothered you so much didn't bother me one bit. Now all I do is try to understand you. Instead of cursing your brain, I want to understand it and cherish every part of it. I wish you knew that I think about you and love you and miss you. I'll miss every version of you that passes, and I'll love every version of you that comes. And now I love every memory that she left behind with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara and Tabea. My older daughter, Kea, is not with us. She is in Denmark. We travel tomorrow night to be with her to celebrate her birthday on World Music Day, not World Yoga Day, World Music Day. The 21st of June, she'll be 23 years old, and a few days later, she graduates. She was alone as all of this happened, and it was difficult for her as she was dealing with it all alone while we had each other. So she's been writing ever since it happened, and we have a little video that we're going to play. This is something that Kea wrote on the day of the funeral, and so she wanted me to just give some context and background. So this is Kea from Denmark. She recorded this yesterday, but she wrote it on the day of the funeral.
How's everything going? Are you forcing everyone to eat yet? Your funeral was this morning. I didn't get to be part of it, but I know you're having a jolly good time up in heaven already. So I'm trying to be strong. It's gonna be weird when I go home. Smells and memories of you still linger through your house and in my mind. Walking into your dressing room, smells of your sweet scented powder and floral perfume wafting through the air. I remember how this smell would whack me in the face when I'd hug you. I still feel the warmth of your hands in mine. My head hurts. My heart feels so. I long for the day when I hear your sweet voice. Dear Grandma, day 2 up there. How's everything going? Are you forcing everyone to eat yet? Your funeral was this morning. I didn't get to be part of it, but
Good evening, one and all. Thank you so much, Santosh and family, for having me to be with you this evening. I am here with my wife Swapna. We are happy to be here. Well, I didn't get opportunity to say a few words at the time of in the cemetery, but then Santosh mentioned that there will be memorial service, and I'm so happy that I have this opportunity to say a few words. Well, as you see the picture, Auntie Prema with that cup of tea, and that is where I want to make my few observations and my few words. Well, I had several cup of tea like this in late Uncle Kane and Auntie Prema's house. What it is, I'll tell you. It all started way back in 2007, the year when I joined ATA. And as you all know, Dr. Brian Wintle used to be heading the ATA's work, and late Dr. Brian and late Dr. Uncle Kane, they were friends. And both used to meet. I used to bring Dr. Wintle all the way from Putraj side here in Koramangala, and then both friends also the leaders will sit, have their laugh and talk and so many things. I will sit next to them and all, and then that is where Auntie Prema will come. In a way, kind of a interruption, but then, would you like to have a cup of tea? Well, that's something. But then again, if I want to go back, one of the things that I remember, I think it was in Raisandra. My first time to be in Raisandra, to come there, and in that Acts community, that was time, dinner time, lunch time, and then many were there for lunch. And there was a person. That was my first time when I met Auntie Prema. And then everybody were busy in having lunch and talking and different conversations. I was there with Dr. Wintle, and then there was a person. I didn't know who the person was. There was a person with that apron on, and then in a tray in the hand. And that person is walking to our table where myself, Dr. Wintle, and few others were sitting, waiting for our time, our food or something. And that is where this person comes and says, "Can I serve you something?" Well, that was Auntie Prema. That is where the whole thing began, and that has really touched me. Somebody like, and now later on I came to know who Auntie Prema is. Right? Somebody who is involved in the life of people. Auntie Prema's life might have touched many people. But here, somebody like me who people don't know me. I was there, I happened to be there because of, say, Dr. Wintle. I was working with him, I was going around with him, and so many ways. Few of you would know that is the story. That is how the whole thing began. But here, this Auntie Prema's life was so much touching in that way. And I was thinking that Auntie Prema has touched many lives. But my life was touched by Auntie Prema's life, by her service to the people. And even we know many people doesn't need to know who she is, but she's still there to serve and reach out. It was my first impression. They say first impression is last impression, and I knew Auntie Prema from that angle, and thereafter several cup of tea there in their home. I owe a lot to late Uncle Kane, and I'm sure if Uncle Kane was a successful leader, Auntie Prema has contributed a lot. And if she has contributed, I'm sure this aspect of her life, her hospitality, her service to the people, is meant a lot to the people. I just wanted to highlight this, that it has touched my personal life, and thereafter. Of course, I came to know Uncle Ken later more, Uncle Ricky and Arts Ministry and several staff there. They know me very well, but in the family, when it comes to the family life of Auntie Prema and Uncle Ken, their service and reaching out to people, and somebody, a very simple man like me, they reached out to me. I owe a lot to them. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I also bring prayers and wishes from ATA, our ATA family, and everybody was remembering at the time of when Auntie Prema's funeral happened. I happened to come, and Dr. Bennett, our regional secretary, sent a message, please represent ATA. Anyway, I want to represent ATA even now. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vishvas. ATA is Asia Theological Association, for those of you who don't know. We've put together different phrases that Mum used through the course of her life, and right at the bottom, you might not be able to see it, is have some more love. And that's exactly what Vishvas was talking. Whenever you're eating with her, she would insist that you eat. It was embarrassing at times when guests were there, because she would just force people to eat. Mom, stop it, Mom. We'll tell you a little bit more about the different phrases. She would always tell me to go and have a shut eye and put your feet up. She would tell Anupa and the ladies to go and work and do stuff, but I was encouraged to put my feet up, and I did. I invite Auntie Latha Samuel to now come forward and share her story.
Thank you, Santosh, for giving me this opportunity. Whenever I think of Auntie Prema, the first thing that comes to my mind is her angelic, sweet voice. So melodious, and even in the group you could make out her voice. And when she sang with Uncle Ken, it was more beautiful. They both sang for my father-in-law's 100th birthday, and it was such a beautiful song we still remember. And like our brother just now shared, she was so hospitable and so generous. I remember when I took my sister to visit her, she was going around looking what to give, pulled out one cashew packet, pulled out one shawl, take this, Leela, you take this, Leela, you take that. And she was so generous with it, like Santosh says, eat some more, eat some more. And her famous thing was chocolate cake. They kept it chocolate cake. Not only chocolate cake, even banana cake was very famous. And though she had so many people to help her, she'll never let anyone to bring the bananas, because those who bake, you know that it has to be overripe, throwaway type of banana to make a best banana cake. And then she'll say, the shops don't have, so I go to the cartwalas and ask them to give me the throwaway type of bananas. They must be thinking I'm a poor lady, that's why I can't afford to buy good bananas. But she did it, and she used to make lovely cakes and give it to everyone. So many times she used to bring it to the acts, this thing, and give it to everyone. And another thing I remember about her is her love. She called everyone darling. Everyone was a darling to her. But it's not like, fake. It was really genuine. She genuinely loved anyone. It's not like some couples I know, they call darling, darling, and they'll be fighting. It's not like that. Her love was really genuine. She used to really love everyone. And we as a family are recipients of that love. Because over 30 years ago, Alex was working in Baldwin's as a dietitian, and he used to do a lot of additional catering. She asked Alex to help with the mess in the old campus on Hosur Road. And because he couldn't be there, he used his brother-in-law. But brother-in-law was an alcoholic. So she asked Auntie Prema, see, this is the problem, is it okay if I bring him? Then without any hesitation, said, Alex, if you and I can't help him as Christians, who else will help? Bring him, let's help him. And with constant love and encouragement, she encouraged him to join AA. And Alex took the responsibility of taking him to AA, and now for more than 30 years he's been clean. And it's all because of Auntie Prema's love. And now the way he had abused his body, I don't think he would have lived so long. But now, this year, he touched 80, and he had the privilege of seeing his only son grow up and doing very well in HSBC as vice president of one of the branches, and seen his own house and a little grandson. And we owe all this to Auntie Prema's genuine love. She was truly, her name personified her name, love personified in her. We are very grateful to Auntie Prema, Uncle Ken, and for God for letting us know them as a family. In fact, Uncle Ken is my husband's second cousin. My father-in-law and Uncle Ken's father were first cousins. So it's a privilege to know them so well. Thank you, Santosh.
Thanks, Auntie Lata. I think you used to call them Ken and Prema, right? You were just saying Uncle Ken and Auntie Prema for the sake of us. That photograph, by the way, was taken, I think, a couple of years ago at a coffee shop here. You can see Christabel's arm on the side. And Auntie Rajni, you were at this place as well. And she was so happy to be out that day. And that, Vishvas, that's actually a big cup of coffee. She was enjoying a cup of coffee. I now call the youngest grandchildren, Jada, Jordan, and Ruel, and they're going to share their stories of grandma. We'll start with Jada.
Hi everyone. I want to share a few small memories of Grandma. Moments that meant a lot to me and still do. Mostly about Grandma post-dementia. After my recent board exams, I have been home and happy to enjoy time with her. Before this, I had eyes only for Grandpa. He was my favorite person and he proudly called me his favorite grandchild. I actually hardly remember what Grandma was like when Grandpa was around. But I do remember that she used to give me chapatis with butter and sugar for lunch, breakfast, dinner, snack, whenever I went down to play on Grandpa's iPads. When Grandpa passed away during COVID, I didn't get to grieve. I didn't get to talk about him like this. I didn't get to say goodbye. So though this is difficult for me, I want to say something today about my grandma. Grandma and I absolutely loved ice cream. Her whole face would light up the moment she was offered the cup, tasted it, or even if we just mentioned, "Shall we have some ice cream, Grandma?" Sugar-free and low GI, of course. And I didn't miss the opportunity to join her. Full sugar and full GI, of course. Grandma also loved the color pink. Anytime I wore something pink, I'd show her and say, "Look, Grandma, your favorite color, pink." And she'd smile, eyebrows lifted high, and say, "Yes." She also liked purple and just anything pretty and girly, actually. After lunch, we'd sit together and sing hymns. I'd hold her hand, lean on her, and gently tap along to the beat. Slowly, she'd start tapping too, singing the harmony sometimes, and often she'd shout, "Woo!" or "Amen," with such excitement that it always made me laugh. This is one of the special moments we shared that I long to return to. While we sat there, she would notice my finger rings and my nail polish. She loved rings. She would touch them gently and say, "Wow," or "Lovely, darling." She'd try them on, admire them, and get such joy from rings. Grandma always noticed my nails. When she was in hospital, I would wear pink every day to make her happy. Pink and perfume. We loved the same floral fragrances. I would do fit checks before I visited her at the hospital. Something I'll always remember, she'd often say to me, "You're a darling." It would be just after I had given her a tissue, or kissed her cheek, or helped her stand up. She'd say it with so much love. I can still hear her voice when I think of it. These are a few simple moments, but for me, they hold so much love, and I feel really grateful to have these memories. I miss seeing her sitting on the balcony when I get back home from school, miss talking to her about exams and asking her to pray for me. And I miss the butter sugar chapatis. Maybe I'll have one every time I miss her. Thank you.
Thank you, Jada. Jada's 18. She's just finished 12th and going to college, doing a BSc in chemistry. Can't believe how she's grown. Up next, we have Jordan, my son, 14 years old. This is his nonchalant walk. That's how he describes his walk. Am I embarrassed you?
The Floor is Lava is a game that Ruel and I used to play in Grandma's living room. We pretended that the floor was lava, and so we couldn't step on it. We had to jump onto furniture only and stay off the floor. We would use all her cushions, throw them on the floor, step on them, and she wouldn't like it. But she would indulge us sometimes and sweetly help us pick the cushions up after the game. That's one of my earliest memories. When the cousins would play on Grandma's bed, she would offer us her special, toast, butter, and honey. For Jada, however, it would be chapati, butter, and sugar. Sometimes I watched tennis with Grandma, and sometimes cricket. She loved coming to my cricket matches when I started training, and yes, she would bring food. Later, she would sit on the balcony while Ruel and I played table tennis behind her. Sometimes the ball would get stuck in her hair, and we would have to sneak up on her and try to get it out without disturbing her. Grandma loved bananas, and when she would fuss to eat sometimes, I would slowly slip a banana under a lid and then uncover it for her like a magic trick. She would be so surprised and full of delight, and she never ever refused a banana. But the food that she didn't want was quietly slipped under the table for the dogs. When I would come back home from school, I would look up to the balcony and see her waving out to me. When I would come back home from school early and walk into our dining room, she would be so happy to see me. I would kiss her and sit at the table, and she would smile and say to me, "Sweet boy." I would do silly dances and even crawl under the table just to make her laugh. She would blow me kisses, and I was happy that she was happy. Have fun in heaven, Grandma. Tell Jesus I said hi.
Jordan, you do know that you can also say hi to Jesus directly, right? Jordan is a sweet boy. Up next, we have 12-year-old Ruel, who's the son of Anupa and Danny. Is Kea's video working? Okay, so after Ruel. Come, Ruel. By the way, Kea, Jada, Jordan, and Ruel all studied at Little Feet. And Sheena, Auntie, it's good to have you with us. These are all your babies too.
So this is a small, small things that I put together for my grandmother. My grandmother was the most amazing grandma with the most beautiful voice. She would always tag along with my mother to pick me up from my bus stop. She used to say, "Oh, baby boy, what a heavy bag." Whenever I was sitting next to her in the car, I would hold her hand and she would hug me back. She made me comfortable through tough times. One of the best and favorite memories of her was when she used to play basketball with me. She used to sit in the bench outside while I played. Now and then she would shoot some hoops and actually make some. When I was small, she used to give me a bath every evening. She also always insisted to say please and thank you. When my grandpa passed away, I was her roommate for about 2 years, and she used to disturb me a lot by always asking for Anupa. I miss my grandma a lot, and she and my grandpa will always be my two favorite people in the whole world. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruel. You know what you and I have in common? Grandma bathed me too. And I remember once as a little boy, I was telling her something about school, and I said, "Mommy, you know, this happened, it was damn good." And she said, she didn't say anything, she just slapped me. "Do not ever use the word damn." I have never used the word damn ever since. I just realized I'm saying that word at the Christalaya pulpit. But context is everything, right? Do we have Kia's video ready?
Dear Grandma, day 2 up there. How's everything going? Are you forcing everyone to eat yet? Your funeral was this morning. I didn't get to be part of it, but I know you're having a jolly good time up in heaven already. So I'm trying to be strong. It's going to be weird when I go home. Smells and memories of you still linger through your house and in my mind. Walking into your dressing room, smells of your sweet scented powder and floral perfume wafting through the air. I remember how the smell would whack me in the face when I'd hug you. I still feel the warmth of your hands in mine. My head hurts. My heart feels so heavy. And floral perfume wafting through the air. I remember how the smell would whack me in the face when I'd hug you. I still feel the warmth of your hands in mine. My head hurts. My heart feels so heavy. But I long for the day when I hear your sweet voice calling out my name to keep my dirty feet off your bed sheets. I love you, Grandma.
She met many people, she loved many people. There was one little girl who came to our home, the daughter of two athletes. She grew up, she was like my second sister, and I used to carry her all over the place. I remember carrying you to JNC very proudly, hoping I'll impress the girls at JNC. Don't think it worked. But Shilka, some of you will remember Shilka. Shilka is with us this evening, so Shilka, come forward.
Thank you, Santosh and Anupa, for having me here. It means the world. Hi, everyone. I'm Shilka. Many of you must be wondering who I am and what I'm doing up here. But the person most of you lovingly called Auntie Prema was always Mama to me. She wasn't my mother by blood, but she mothered my soul. The love she gave me, the values she taught me, and the strength she showed shaped the person I am today. Anka, Uncle Ken, and Mama raised me from my diapers until I was old enough to go to regular school. Every morning my mother would drop me off, and I would spend my days in their home, filled with so much love, laughter, good food, kindness, and community. From bubble baths, to baking chocolate cake and licking the batter from the bowl after, to being fed the best roast beef sandwiches, or my favorite curd rice, to kitchen counter conversations and afternoon pillow talk, Mama made my childhood feel wholesome, warm, and full of love. Today I stand here with a heart full of both sorrow and gratitude to honor the life of a woman who didn't have to love me, but did, fiercely, patiently, and without question. She stepped into my life not because she had to, but because that's who she was. Someone who showed up when it mattered the most. She didn't raise me like a duty, she raised me like a gift. And that's what she was, a gift to me, to everyone she loved, to every life she touched. Her hands held me steady through every stumble. Her voice, calm and kind, was the one that always reassured me and told me how much I was loved. I always carry with me the sound of her laughter and that smell of her cooking that somehow made even the most ordinary day feel like a celebration, and the comfort of her presence and embrace that always made me feel like you're home. And in that love I was raised, not just fed or bathed or taught, but truly raised in a way that shapes your heart and carries you for life. So I say thank you for everything she gave me, for the selfless kind of love that leaves a long mark after a person is gone. Some women plant roots in your soul so deep, their love grows with you long after they are gone. So for me, Mama's story doesn't end with her passing, because it continues in the way I live, in the way I love, and everything good I try to pass forward. May her memory be a blessing, and may I live in a way that honors the love she gave me. Love you always, Mama, your baby girl. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilka. Shilka's mummy, Reeth, is here. Hi, Reeth. Thank you for coming. Okay. Love of my life. Christabel, your turn.
Today we celebrate the life of my mother-in-law, a woman who was, to the outside world, gentle, sweet, warm, and to me, well, let's just say she was a classic mother-in-law, wrapped in casseroles, cookbooks, and unsolicited advice. She was a homemaker and the neck that turned the head. She would say that. She was the neck that turned my father-in-law's head. Her home was a museum of Tupperware, multiple fridges, and a pantry that expanded like a biblical miracle. She believed food should be made in bulk and frozen in batches.
She always hid food in microwaves. When she ordered food, it was always enough to survive a minor apocalypse. Her fridge had more visitors than her living room. She loved food, and she loved feeding people, and she desperately wanted to lose weight. When I met Santosh and asked him to describe his family, he said, "My mom is a sweet old lady who wants to lose weight." I had never heard of any old woman at that time wanting to lose weight. I had never met any old lady more committed to weight loss and even more committed to constant snacking. I, who came from a family where gaining weight was a life goal, was gifted a weighing scale for my birthday by my mother-in-law. Another gift she gave me, it's there, a magnet that said, "I keep on losing weight, but it keeps finding me." Cookbooks, she gave me enough to start a library. And she also gifted me huge cooking dekshis. The irony, I was a journalist who was also a food and restaurant critic. I didn't cook, but she encouraged me to start cooking. I resisted, she persisted. And finally, when I gave in, I think I knocked her apron off. The more recent Prema is whom I'm talking about, because the old one, the one I first met, was a whirlwind, flying around from place to place, rushing always from kitchen to campus to commercial street. She was a shopaholic, and some of us in this room today have inherited that trait very nicely. She could never relax, she could never chill, especially if there were guests, and there were always guests. When there were menfolk, she called most men menfolk, and they got high respect. She always wanted me around to make clever conversation. She would say, "Come, I need someone to make clever conversation." I had to drop whatever I was doing, get to her house to make intelligent conversation with our guests. It was not a choice I was given, it was an order. She always wanted me to do my PhD. She would keep telling me, "Baby, I want you to do your PhD." I told her that I wasn't interested in titles. I was a journalist. She said, "It's not for you," she would whisper. "It's for the menfolk. They don't take women seriously until you have a PhD." But I'll tell you this. She always read my newspaper columns, always. No jealousy, no disdain, just a very proud, "This is your ministry to women" talk. I would gently remind her that it was a parenting column. It was for the men also. She would smile tightly, and I knew that smile. I'd come to know that smile. It was a smile of disagreement. It was the same smile that she would wear when she accepted food that she didn't want and would quietly throw it under the table for the dogs. Her beliefs were tidy. Her inner world, I suspect, far more complex. She always had more spunk than her neatly tied sari and her perfectly powdered face. I once took her to a diabetes clinic where a young technician was testing the soles of her feet to check nerve damage. She couldn't feel anything. He kept increasing the intensity, and suddenly out of nowhere she purred, "Oh, darling, that feels wonderful." The poor boy's face went from confident to traumatized. I don't think he touched a foot since. She was full of surprises. One moment she would flirt with a poor clinic technician. The next minute she'd storm into my house because I was sick and missed church and pray for the devil to leave me. I think the devil was just as confused as the technician. But by far the best thing about her, for me, was the love she poured into her darling boo-boo boy, Santosh. He has received abundant love, care, concern, and attention from her. Our whole family thrives because of the love Santosh received, and he now pours into each one of us. Always and every time, she was super concerned about just him, flooding him with food while worrying about his weight, appreciating his perfumes, his shirts, his smile. She was enamored by him. Singing with him every afternoon during his lunch break was a high point for her. Even at the very end, she would raise eyebrows, hold out her hands, and make sounds every time he entered the room. The same treatment was afforded to our 14-year-old Jordan. What can I say? She loved menfolk. She would coo over Jordan, wink at him, blow him kisses, say how lovely he was, how handsome he was, how strong he looked, how well dressed, especially when he came home from school in the formal uniform. And of course, she would make sure that I made sure that he was well fed. Jordan is skinny and he could do no wrong. Jordan could put his feet on the bed, which she treated as a sacred altar. He could spill things on the floor and she'd just laugh. Meanwhile, the girls, no such royal treatment. She had her own definition of equality. Jada was Grandpa's favorite. She told you that. Grandpa would say, I know we're not allowed to have favorites, but I'm ashamed to say she's my favorite. This made things tricky for Jada, not just with Kea, Jordan, and the cousins, but with Grandma. Grandma would... Jada paid the price with extra strict checks for dirty feet on the bed. While Grandpa would whisk her into the air and place her on his tummy saying, she's not touching the bedsheet at all. Grandma would leave in a huff, saying, this one has him wrapped around her finger. When he passed away, Jada managed to woo Grandma. With her kindness, her smiles, her patience, and her finger rings. They bonded over girly stuff. Jada is crazy over nail art. Grandma is crazy over nails. Jada would do Grandma's nails, cream her hands, spray perfume on her. They both enjoy the same sweet, strong, heady fragrances. And Jada carries the Sanjeevi nose and cheekbones that live on. With Kea, Mummy was wonderfully clueless when I had my first baby. Together, we once dipped Kea in bubble bath and forgot to rinse her off. This was Kea's first bath. And 2 days later, we were rushing around town, consulting high-profile pediatricians about the baby's strange rash. I was embarrassed when I realized what we had done, or what we had not done. Mummy looked at me and laughed like I was so silly at the doctors. She would sing lullabies to Kea for hours and put her to sleep while watching her favorite tennis on TV, only to suddenly shout loudly for her favorite Roger Federer, woo! And wake Kea right up again. Kea was a really chubby baby, and so while telling me to give her more to eat, she would advise me to give Kea slim milk. Kea was 6 months old. As Kea grew taller, slimmer, and started singing like a dream, Grandma loved her more. Basically, beauty brought blessings. Her first reaction when she sees Kea on a video call would be, darling, you look gorgeous. I love your red hair. Oh, darling, I love your smile. And with dementia, you could get these compliments every few seconds again. For me, it was, baby, wear the uncomfortable heels. They make you look nice. Baby, smile more. After a few minutes, baby. She may have forgotten what she said, but she never forgot how to say something. Dementia didn't change her. It just made her repeat herself more dramatically. And honestly, even in confusion, she stayed perfectly, unmistakably herself. Thank you.
Thank you. From one in-law to another in-law. This one I don't like so much. I mean, not as much as my wife. This is Anupa's husband, Danny. Come on, Danny. We'll adjust the mic for you.
Hi, everyone. We gathered here to celebrate the life of Auntie Prema. So everyone try this with me. Raise your right eyebrow. I'm sure you've all tried it. Give it another shot. Try doing that. Come on. Everyone, you're supposed to try this now. So try raising that, and Santosh has got it perfectly for those of you who can't see. Right, so I had the privilege of meeting Auntie Prema about 15 years ago, and she gave me real good advice about her daughter, who we married then, we got married 3 years later. But there was always and always so much of welcoming and love, and the way she welcomed me into the family. Everyone's heard stories about how much she is interested in the plate before you, and she enjoyed it because I loved to eat. And so I would get served a lot and enjoyed it to the very end. Another thing that always reminds me of Auntie Prema now is fragrance. And I'm sure you probably have smelt that before you even heard her or met her or saw her coming. And that continued as well to the very end. And that's something, again, that we miss, and her house is always filled with that. If I can share one thing that I think I really cherish and have learned from her, which Anupa always repeats to me, is according to the Gospel of Prema, we're all called to love the unloved. And if nothing else, if we can all just take that back, and that's taught me to be a better person, that continues to inspire me every day. And that's something I think, having known her, is a blessing. And I'll repeat that again, we're all called to love the unloved. And she lived, I would say, every day of her life like that. And that is something I just want to keep and treasure, and I'm sure everyone here has experienced it, whether it's the first time you met her or you've known her for years, and that's always been there. Does anyone know her favorite food besides coffee and tea? High in fat. Beja fry. That would not be slipped under the table. Right, that was definitely all in all for her. She also had a very adventurous spirit. Apart from picking up Ruel from school along with Anupa, when I finished my bike ride 50 kilometers away, she was there to welcome me. At the end of every day, when she is at home downstairs with us, her welcome, her hug was just, you could forget about the day and everything else that happened, and that was very warm and welcoming, and you know that it was filled with love. There were also times when we've had a long day, I would get a shoulder press. My hair being short was kind of almost always in place, but she would still insist that I comb it. And it had to be done in a particular way. Besides the fact that she always dressed up and got ready for the day in the morning, does anyone know how many clips, hair clips, it takes to hold that hair up? Take a wild guess, any number. 4, 6, 5, right, so we were, double it, triple it almost. It had to do an MRI, so no metal allowed. And then the machine's going on beeping. Then comes out one, and then another, and we pull out 19 clips. 19 clips, right? And so the amount of effort that she went into to keep that thing together, And when she sleeps at night, her head would not fully rest on the pillow because her bun would get spoiled, right? And these are very small but lovely memories I'd like to keep with me forever. And again, at the risk of repeating myself, we are all called to love the unloved.
Thank you, Danny. I do love you. And can anyone guess how many hair clips I have? 20. Close. Okay. Dinner will be served soon, so don't worry. When we came to Koramangala in 1978, October, it was a wasteland, desolate, dacoits and cobras and the Macadans. We were the early settlers of Koramangala. In 1979, July, ACTS was started. And there were a bunch of students who joined for the very first time, the first batch. And we have one student who's with us, Putraj. We affectionately, where are you? Here. Oh, there you are. We call him Puttu. He's Pastor Putraj. Mom and Dad loved going to his Kannada Christalaya church. So, Puttu, please come forward and share a few words.
Love to hear so many things. I am from the first batch student. We were 11 and we enjoyed a family atmosphere. Uncle Ken and Auntie Prema, they both used to take care of like their own family. She arranged my marriage when I reached 27. I came when I was 19 years old. Then I finished student diploma in the initial time. Then I was working with construction because ACTS bought a land. There were a lot of engineers coming from abroad, Canada, America, England, and that. So Uncle Ken said, "Why don't you assist them and why don't you join with them and do construction?" I was in a construction department. Working with the stone and cement, I was very hard and very, thing like that. I was like a cement. If anybody says anything, I won't, I was not a gentle at all. And Auntie Prema used to call me and used to counsel me, and she used to sometimes say, "Donkey, come, I want to sit with you." And so, and she was very disciplined, and she wanted us also to be disciplined. And so that's how she built my family, and my wife and me were loved by her so much, even Uncle Ken. And on my wedding day, we had a wedding at Wilson Garden Methodist Church, 4 to 5. They just finished before 5. Uncle Ken was a preacher. He finished in 15-20 minutes. Then he said, "Okay, there is so much time for the reception. Reception at campus dining hall." Then Auntie Prema and Uncle Ken both took us to hotel and gave us snacks and had given us some advice, and then brought us to the campus. So this is the way they allowed us, and we cannot forget in our lifetime. I can't forget Auntie Prema and Uncle Ken because so much they have invested time and energy, and the value they taught us. And also another thing I want to share, because today I am a pastor. Even though I retired 6 years back from ACTS group of institution, from full time, I became a part-time, now I'm pastoring. I became a pastor because one day there was a prayer meeting. I was sitting there, Auntie Prema called me and said, "You have a pastoral ministry. Why don't you take up? God has a calling for you." Then I seriously thought about it. Till then I was not thinking. I was only thinking about steel, cement and stone. And she said, "You must take up." Then I went to Uncle Ricky, and because he was in charge of total thing, executive director. Then I went there and I asked him, "Uncle, why don't you give me a church?" He said, "No church, there is a house church," and few people were there in Bomnadi. I went there, only 3 people were there and 5 children. Then I seriously worked hard. Within few years, within 5-6 years, I built that congregation with my wife. My wife was a great support. Till 150 people I have seen before I moved to main campus. Then Uncle Ken and Auntie Prema, they both used to come and enjoy being in the service, because campus church was a mother church, and both used to come and ministry. Every alternate month they used to come. And whenever he used to free, he used to call me, "Putu, I want to come this Sunday." And said, "Please come, Uncle, it's open." So, and we missed that, and now Uncle Ricky has taken that place, and he's coming every alternate month, and Valsa and Uncle Ricky. So this is the way they built us, and really she lived up to her name, Prema Auntie, So loving, very loving, and same time, she used to correct us. Many times she corrected me, and I was so thankful. Otherwise I would have been like a jungle man, coming from a village, and I did not even to wish people, I did not even to do things, how to talk, how to wish, how to behave. She taught me all that. A to Z, like a child, she brought up. And me and my wife are very special to her, and we miss her so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Putu. We're almost at the end of the program. We just have a few more messages. We do, as a family, want to sing a few more songs together with all of you. We're going to be reading Mom's favorite psalm, and then there will be dinner. But right now, I'm going to invite Uncle Jana to come and say a few words.
You said, thank you, Santosh. Santosh and family, I'd like to thank you all for organizing this very wonderful memorial. The nice words have been said, and I first met Prema and Santosh almost 48 years ago. They'd just come back from Melbourne, and I was new to the Moses family, and I was seeing the extended family. And I have to say this, that it was a very sweet person I met. I mean also Santosh. Santosh was a little boy. I have that picture with me of Santosh, a little boy in Richmond Road. I've had very pleasant memories of Prema, and wonderful cook, wonderful hostess, and there are so many nice memories that I have, And though, you know, she went away without memories, I think all of us remember her as a wonderful person. And those memories can't be wiped out. Also, one more thing I'd like to say is that I met her before she lost memory. And I can only think of all the pleasant things that have happened to Angie and me and to the rest of the Moses family, which is always all pleasant things. And we know that behind every successful man, somehow sneaks up a woman. And I think Prema had a large role in bringing a lot of discipline and order and love and affection. And you can see that, the outpouring of love today is wonderful. And I think these are pleasant things to carry to the later part of the day. And of course, she's safe upstairs with good memories. Thank you all for listening to this little tribute, and I hope it was a tribute, and I miss this lady.
Uncle Jana, Janardhan Roy, is married to Auntie Angie, who is the cousin of my dad and Uncle Ricky from their mum's side, the Moses family. So just for a little more context. Okay, our next presenter. I have loved her from the day she was born. She ruined my party. I remember sitting, I distinctly remember, Anupa, hang on, sit down. Distinctly remember sitting on our staircase in England with Mum and Anupa on her lap, and I'm trying to pinch Anupa's cheeks because I was just fascinated with this little baby. And my sweet Mum catches hold of my ear and squeezes it. Don't touch her. So I made it my lifelong ambition to torment her for the rest of her life. I still do. So, annoying sister, Anupa, come. As you can see, she got the hair.
I'm sorry this is so long. My mom would have hated it, actually. It's really going on, but here I am, and I'm going to give you all another side of my mom. Girls should be seen and not heard. Please wear a dress. Can you wear more ladylike footwear? Why do you always wear jeans? Can I put some powder on your face? I would love to see you use this handbag. These are words that I used to hear from my mom all the time, even till recently. Obviously, I didn't listen because I'm the noisiest thing ever, and I'm still wearing whatever I want. She didn't succeed in making me soft-spoken or girly in the way she was, with her delicate watches, her dainty sandals, and her perfectly matched handbags. But what she did succeed in was shaping me into a woman of faith, strength, and love, just like her. Sorry, I'm very nervous, I don't know why. My mom was a woman of deep faith and relentless prayer. She was super strong. I hardly ever saw her cry. She was always busy, yet I never heard her complain. No matter what, she made time for her family and for others, and she carried burdens silently. She loved fiercely, and she showed up always. Growing up, she was the perfect balance of strict and loving. And oh, she was very, very strict. Yes, I got spanked a lot, but I was also showered with just as much love. And even in discipline, she made sure I understood why she was upset. She didn't just correct me, she taught me. Later on, when I became a mother myself, and when motherhood brought its own challenges, my mom was my guiding light. She understood both my girls, who were so different from each other right from the beginning in ways that I struggled to understand. And when frustration would overwhelm me, my mom would step in with her quiet wisdom, and she showed me how to handle situations with patience and grace. She never judged my struggles. Instead, she taught me how to be the mother that both Tabea and Tara needed. And as I grew older, especially after I married Danny, our relationship blossomed into a beautiful friendship. She was so happy when I married Danny, and she said, "I can now die in peace." And looking back, it really breaks my heart to realize just how much she worried about me. But she never let that fear dim her joy. She adored Danny, and in him, she found peace, knowing that he was exactly what her wayward daughter needed. When Ruel was born, Mom was older and not as strong as she used to be. But that didn't stop her from bathing him, as you heard from him, finding time to giggle with him. And the girls were much older by then. And instead of her picking me and the kids up and taking us out, it was now Ruel, Tabea, Tara, and I who would take her out. Those moments, watching her with my kids, seeing her face light up at their laughter, they were some of the precious gifts. Through all of my bad decisions, my impulsiveness, my mistakes, not once did my mom talk down to me. She stood by me, supported me, and when I faltered, she was there without hesitation. She loved unconditionally, even when I was the exact opposite of what she may have envisioned. And yet, despite our differences, she instilled in me the things that mattered most: faith, kindness, generosity, and the courage to stand by the people I love. I am the mother I am today because she was an incredible mother to me. And I am trying my best to be the wife that she was, but I'm failing most of the time. Sorry, Danny. Mom, you were my first teacher, my protector, my cheerleader, and later, my dearest friend. I'll miss your laughter, your wisdom, and even the way you'd glare at me when I was being too loud. But I know your love, your prayers, and your legacy live on in me, in my children, and in every life that you touched, all of you here. Miss you, Mom. You were and always will be everything.
Thank you, Anupa. Thank you. We are now almost at the end. I had to write down a few words, otherwise we would be here for a long time. So first of all, thank you so much, everyone. I'm looking around the room, and as I said at the funeral, I was registering all the faces and really grateful to see how many of you have come this evening despite our wonderful traffic and the parking situation, so thank you so much. Mom loved perfume, so just allow me to spray my expensive cologne. Ah, I smell good. That was a bit too much, I think. So you've heard a lot of speeches today. You've heard about the love that she had, the love that all of you have had. And I know that all of you have so many stories. I'm sorry that we couldn't have many more of you to come and talk and share. But I hope you can send us messages of how Mom touched your life, because that will mean a lot to us as a family. You've also heard from a few of the messages today that she was one of my biggest supporters. She showered me with love. In her eyes, I could do no wrong. I've heard that from Anupa very often. She would often get into trouble, whereas I was the angel, even though occasionally I might have done something naughty. But in her eyes, I could do no wrong. I remember there were 2 times when my dad and I exchanged heated words. This was like really strong arguments. I'll wait for Auntie Latha to turn off her phone. Done? Okay. So Dad and I, on 2 occasions, exchanged really heated words. It was to do with acts. After both occasions, Mum pulled me aside and said, "Baby boy, you need to tell him. Someone needs to tell him. He needs to understand." Mum always had my back. She was always rooting for me. And I just realized no one's going to call me baby boy. But please don't call me baby boy. I'll accept it from a few of you. I also remember that when I left India to go and study in the Philippines, early 90s, I was 22 years old. I'd lived a very sheltered life. I was very much a mama's boy. Yeah, you know. I had always wanted an earring. But Mum would always say, "As long as you live under my roof, you will not get an earring." A few weeks into my time in the Philippines, I'm at a shopping mall, sitting behind this jewelry store counter, getting my ear pierced. When Mum eventually saw it, she said, "Baby boy, it looks lovely." Mum was not perfect. Auntie Lata. Oh my goodness. And just as I was saying, Mum was not perfect. Maybe she arranged for that call. She had her faults, but then again, none of us are perfect. And I have forgiven Mum, and I hope she's forgiven me for some of the things that I did. It was very difficult to see her in the recent past. She was frail, she was bent, she was weak, she looked unsure. And while there is sadness that she is no more with us, and to be honest, I'm still coming to terms with it. I've been telling people, no matter how old you are, no matter how old your mum is, when you lose her, as the cliche goes, it hits different. And I don't think it's really sunken in. I'm still struggling to walk up the stairs and look at that place where Mum lived. But you know, the hope, the joy, the confidence that we have as Christians, all of this far outweighs any sadness that I have right now. I know I will see her again. And I know that today she is free, she is whole, and she is at peace. In case you didn't hear that through my tears, let me say that again. I know that today she is free, she is whole, and she is at peace. Mum loved music, and we have one more medley that we will sing. Some of her favorite songs are in that medley. Mum loved food, and tonight we're all going to walk upstairs. We have a space on top where we will enjoy a Kerala meal together. Mum also loved cleaning up after a meal. And so in honor of Auntie Prema, we are all going to do the dishes tonight. You think I'm joking, right? Okay, family, I am joking. Family, let's... Huh? Oh, the Bible read. Okay, before that, in Bangalore lingo, her co-sister, no, not a co-sister, right? Sheila Sundaram? Okay, that's in some other language. I'm talking Bangalore English. Sheila Sundaram is Danny's mom. She's going to read for us from Psalm 121, which was one of Mom's favorite psalms. Come, Sheila.
Psalm 121. I look up to the mountains. Does my help come from there? My help comes from the Lord who made heaven and earth. He will not let you slumber. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel never slumbers nor sleeps. The Lord himself watches over you. The Lord stands beside you as your protective shade. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon at night. The Lord keeps you from all harm and watches over your life. The Lord keeps watch over you as you come and go, both now and forever.
Check. Thank you, Sheila. Thank you so much. After we sing, Deepak Babu is going to close us in prayer. So Deepak, I'm announcing you now so that you can come after this. So once again, we wanted this to be a celebration of Mom and sing songs that she loved. A lot of these are familiar songs, so if you know them, please sing along. In church, Mom used to sit somewhere there where Auntie Sushila is sitting, and I would always make eye contact with her whenever I'm singing or leading. I'm going to miss that, but I know that she loves singing these songs, and she's doing that right now. Stand up for Jesus, these soldiers are well. The time is royal man, it has not suffered. From victory unto victory, his army shall Very quickly, Mom came from a Salvation Army background, and there's some very strong language in that first song, but because of the Salvation Army background, we threw that in. And Christ is Lord in me, just as I am without one plea, but as thy blood was shed for me, and that thou mayest become to thee, O
Let us pray. Gracious Father, we thank you for this time that we have had. We thank you for all the memories that we have shared. And most of all, we thank you for allowing us to share in Auntie Prema's life. We ask you to be with Santosh and Anupa and their families as they continue to grieve, and we ask you to bring them through. And now, Father, we ask you to take us from this place with the gospel of Prema, that we should love those who are unloved. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Deepak. Thank you once again, everyone, so much for coming. Couple of flights up the stairs, but there's a lift as well. We have dinner. Once again, take some time to look at that memory table, things that remind us of Mum, very unique to Mum, the powder, the perfume, the Bible, the coloring, the photographs, her hearing aid, tissue box, because her nose was always running when she was having lunch of late. Anupa has written something, I think that's somewhere there. So thank you once again. And there's chocolate cake, Auntie Prema's famous chocolate cake. You're free to take a piece. It's not there just for decoration, right? Help yourself. I know I will. So stand up, walk around. You're probably seeing people after a while, so thank you once again.